Well, Julie, the medical advice has so far been that Australia doesn't need to follow in the footsteps of other countries in banning flights from the UK. The Prime Minister says quarantine systems are protecting Australians, but Victoria is concerned about the possible consequences if this mutant strain of COVID-19 was to leak out of hotel quarantine. They want a border ban to at least be put on the table, and it was raised by the state's Deputy Chief Health Officer at a meeting of the AHPPC today. They want modelling done showing the possible risk to each state, and they want a decision on a possible border ban to be based on that modelling.
He is seeking for a national agreement to do the modelling, to look at it, to look at the risk to, each state, to Australia, and obviously that then impacts on international travellers if ultimately, a risk assessment is done that shows that the risk is much higher, and we should look at closing the port.
We have seen some returned travellers in hotel quarantine across Australia testing positive to this mutated COVID strain, and there are 3 new cases today recorded in WA.
3 people in our hotel quarantine have been diagnosed with the new UK variant, which is a more rapidly spreading variant of the virus, and obviously is causing havoc throughout England.
Julie, the WA Premier is also supporting calls for returning international travellers to be tested for COVID-19 before boarding flights to Australia. Some airlines are already doing this, but there is no nationally consistent rule, as New Zealand has recently imposed. Mark McGowan says it should be looked at by the federal government.
Look, I'll just say to the Commonwealth once again, to me this is a no-brainer. If we do this, we can better protect our citizens and make sure we have less prospect of spread of the virus amongst all of the other people on the aircraft returning to Australia.
This would typically be an issue discussed by National Cabinet, but it's not due to meet until early next month. As fears grow about this mutated COVID strain, there are also new calls for those talks to be brought forward.